Hi, this is Greg Gregson. Welcome to the 90-Day Challenge. This is our kickoff message. I wanted to, first of all, congratulate you for making the commitment to join the 90-Day Challenge and to set some real ambitious and exciting goals for 2011. I can tell you, I started this process, Whitney and I have been doing it for almost a decade, and going through setting our goals and setting up an accountability kind of a buddy system has been transformational for us as far as helping us reach our goals. There's three key components to this challenge. Number one is attention. Once you set a goal, it's really important to keep it front of mind in top of your attention. Second is accountability, to keep yourself accountable to the third step, which is taking actions. So when you have attention on your goal, you have actions towards your goal, and you have accountability with a buddy and this whole system in place, I think you're going to find a great start to 2011. So let me give you some logistics and kind of like what's expected of you, what you can expect for the next, at least for the next couple of weeks. We're going to do video updates every couple of weeks to keep everyone engaged. And we're also going to do once a month check-in calls. So the next check-in call is going to be February 15th, and then the following one's going to be March 15th, and then the final wrap-up call is going to be April 15th. So let's kind of cover some logistics. First thing is, everyone is going to need the companion guide and Dr. A's Habits of Health. These are the two tools that we're going to go through. If your coach or your buddy doesn't have one, contact us and we can get you information on how to do it. First of all, there's going to be a couple things that's going to be expected. You're going to read a couple of chapters from Dr. A's Habits of Health. Then you're going to do the exercises which are taken from this workbook. Now each week you're going to get an email with worksheets that take the questions and some of the answers that you're supposed to ask, and you're going to do it on the worksheets, and then you're going to either fax or email in the worksheet. I'll give you an example of what you could expect for your first couple weeks. I would recommend that you block out about 15 to 20 minutes every day. There's two ways that people have done this, and I've done it both ways. One way is kind of like, remember when you were in school and you had a big exam and you would cram the night before and you'd drink a bunch of coffee and you'd stay up all night and you'd try to remember everything and get ready for that test the next day? Well, cramming is not the best way to learn. People's retention is not as high. The other way is called farming, and farmers are slow and methodical. They plant the seeds, they water the garden, they pull the weeds, they put the fertilizer on, they water the garden, they take care of the garden. So that's what we want you to do with your mental garden. As you're working on your 90-day challenge, the first and foremost part of this is getting your head on right, getting your goals. I mean, that's what the Living a Thinner, Healthy Body, the first DVD on Dr. A's Companion Guide, is actually all mental. It's very much about what do you do with your goals and how do you set yourself up. So here's what I recommend. If you can do 15 minutes in the morning, right when you wake up, or set your alarm a little bit early so you can get up and have that extra time for the Habits of Health system and the 9-day challenge, that's a great time to do it. The other time is at bedtime, right before you go to bed, the 15 or 20 minutes before bedtime. So every night I'm either reading a little bit for 15 or 20 minutes, or I'm actually doing the exercises. And then once a week, Whitney and I schedule our check-in. Ours is on Friday. So Friday afternoon, we have an hour blocked out. Usually only takes about 20-30 minutes. And we go over our goals. Now I'm going to give you a little tip on how to do your weekly update. I'm going to give you some questions to ask to make it quick and effective. The first question is, how are you doing on the program? How much have you lost this weight? Because most people are also trying to lose weight they're going on the 90-day challenge. So you want to check in. How much did they lose? If they lost at least 2 pounds for that week, then they get a point for the 90-day challenge. Second question is, do you need any help with your 5-in-1 plan? The third question is, have you done your assignments from the Habits of Health? The fourth question is, what did you learn? The next question is, how will you take what you learned and be more successful in the future? How will you apply what you've learned in your life? The final question is, are you ready for the next couple of weeks of exercise? So you might want to look ahead and see what the next week or two of lessons are in the companion guide, or in the worksheets that we're sending you. The final thing you want to do is schedule your next follow-up call, your next check-in, or your next conversation with your accountability buddy. Just to give you a heads up on what to expect for the first couple lessons, week 1, there's 2 lessons, lesson 1 and lesson 2. Lesson 1 is your changing world, and really looking at how our environment is obesogenic and how it's caused us to get into the state we're in. The second lesson for week number 2 is the power of habits. You're going to start looking at the current habits that you have, the habits that are serving you, the ones that aren't serving you. Second week, lesson 3, the first thing we're going to start on, is harnessing the habits of disease. What this is really about is identifying your habits of disease. What are the triggers that cause you to go unconscious and go into autopilot, and how to stop, challenge, and choose, and how to really take a technique to change your life when you're facing with some difficulties or facing challenges. The fourth lesson, the final lesson of week number 2, is starting where you are. And all this is simply you taking a few minutes and going through Dr. A's health assessment. This means you're going to go through a comprehensive assessment of your physical, mental, your sleep patterns, your family history. You're going to answer these questions. Now you can do it online because we're going to send you a link to Dr. A's assessment online, or you can do it in the workbook itself. What we need you to do is come up with your score and then share that with your buddy on your check-in call. So again, in summary, we're going to get you, every week you're going to get an email from us that's going to remind you about the upcoming reading assignments, the chapters and the lessons to do in the companion guide. We want you to check in once a week with your buddy. Try to pick a day that's kind of consistent if you can get into a rhythm. Maybe it's every Thursday, maybe it's every Friday, maybe it's every Saturday. At the end of once you're done checking in with your buddy, we want you to submit your weekly update. You send that to email at support@90daychallenge.com or by fax to 858-683-2222. When you send those in, we'll put up all the numbers and we'll post the winners, or at least the people who are in the lead each week. Also, one last thing, I want you to challenge you to go to the 90daychallenge.net forum and check in and share your wins and share your lessons, and of course if you have any questions there as well. So until we speak, this is our first check-in. Look for more to come, and let's go get it. Let's make 2011 our best year ever.